Hello, my lovelies. This is going to be our weekly shadow work. We're going to start with conversations with your inner self. What are some hidden aspects of our psyche? So what are some triggers that we need to work on releasing this week? Inner child. What is the relationship between your shadow self and your inner child? Inner teen. In your teenage years, what did you not receive and how has this impacted you? Self-pressure. When are you the hardest on yourself? Acting out. Recall a time when you acted out of character. What happened? All right, let's see how we integrate and find the balance. What do we need to know this week? Decision making. How can understanding your shadow self improve your decision making? Protection. In what ways has your shadow self protected you? Love. When do you feel most loved? And core values. What are your core values and why are these so important to you? So as always, those are some food for thought. Take what fits, leave the rest. Not every message that you see will resonate. All right, let's see what we need to know from our shadow self. What are we going through that we need to work on releasing this week? What shadow aspects need to be healed this week? Some issues with our finances. Could also be dealing with a person in business that maybe is making poor decisions financially. Could be dealing with some sort of scams. Somebody who's maybe trying to, what is the right word I'm looking for? Like sabotage positive changes in your business sector. So those could be some things. Somebody who's maybe, gosh, it's like I just can't find the word that I'm looking for. Give me one second. Okay, the word I'm looking for is corruption. So somebody who is corrupt when it comes to business. That could be somebody that you're dealing with that's an authority figure, somebody who's just making really poor choices, or that there's something going on that's not quite right when it comes to business and financial dealings. I feel like you've already had a lot of disappointments when it comes to love as well as maybe financially. And so I feel like with the Queen of Cups being in the shadow aspect, this is telling us that we've got to start flipping things around for the better. She could be somebody who, when she's in her light side or an upright reading of this card, would say that she's very nurturing. She's big mama bear, so she's super protective, but she's also very loving and very gentle. When she's in the shadow aspect, or when she would be in a reversal energy, she's the polar opposite of that. She could be like a helicopter parent. She could be somebody who's hovering constantly, trying to force her opinions on other people. She could be somebody who is excuse me, somebody who's dealing with things like loss and infertility. And so she's not in her balanced state, and she needs to be in order to give people her loving, genuine self. So something's going on within in some of the divine feminine energy in the collective that's causing us to either lash out, not be able to speak up for ourselves. My throat chakra is being affected in this reading. So I definitely feel like you need to speak up for what it is that you want. And you need to be able to express yourself in a loving way. So love, when do you feel most loved? Are there things that are not working out for you right now and that's causing you to maybe feel the pressure? I feel like there's potential for a new love offer coming in, but it's something that you're not ready for. And I feel like you're going to either discount it or you feel like you missed out on an opportunity. Remember that nothing that is meant for you will ever pass you by. It might have to circle the block a few times before you're ready for it. But if it's meant for you, it's got your name on it. It is yours. You will never miss something that is meant for you. You will miss things that are distractions. You will miss things that are no good for you, but you will never miss something that is truly meant to be in your life. The question is, are you really willing to take a leap of faith? Are you really willing to try new things? Excuse me. Throat chakra is really being affected in this reading, and I was fine earlier before I started this. So I feel like there are opportunities that you're hesitating on. Ask yourself why. What is the fear that's holding you back from making this decision? Do you feel unprotected? Do you feel unloved? Are you acting out? Are you feeling the pressure? Are there things that you need to feel safe that are not currently in your reality? And figure out what those things are and operate from self-love. Give yourself the protection that you're looking for. Give yourself the love that you're looking for, and you will start to magnetically attract it from others. All right, so we are at a place in our life where things are imbalanced. I don't know why I can't say the word all of a sudden. There's something going on that you're juggling. There's something going on that's out of whack, that isn't working. What is it? What are the things in your life that you're juggling? What are the things that aren't working on either a superficial level or under the surface? Because there's something that you need to release in order to restore the balance. There's also a lack of communication. Have you cut someone off recently? Are there things left unsaid? Again, the throat chakra being activated in this reading tells me that there is something being held back. You are not speaking your mind, you're not speaking your truth, and that something is off here. So do we need to communicate? Do you need to communicate more with yourself? Do you need to communicate with someone else? Do you need to let go of something where your emotional needs were not fulfilled? I feel like that could be something important. The Devil in reverse is the only way we like to see this card. You're reclaiming your power. You're finding joy again. You've seen the light. You've gone through a period of enlightenment and spiritual development. You are releasing toxic cycles. You are letting go of things that are no good for you because you have to. I feel like it's time for you to speak up. It's time for you to be in your power. It's time for you to operate in your positive, softer state. And the only way for you to do that is to make a clear decision. So I feel like you're at kind of an imbalance as far as being able to make a decision. I feel like you're kind of on the fence. Do I cut off the toxicity? Do I keep a cycle going? Are there things that you're not seeing clearly? You have to remove the blindfold in this situation, and you have to be able to see things logically in black and white so that you can make a clear decision. Remove the emotions from it. Remove the emotions from it in order to make a clear, logical decision. See outside the box. Can you see the bigger picture? Can you see what you need to do? If not, why not? What is the reason that you are being held back and you can't see the bigger picture? Can you see the deception? Can you see that there is like your needs not being met and fulfilled? Do you see those things? Do you see the corruption? Do you see the scams? Are you able to actually let go of what does not serve you? The Nine of Coins in the shadow definitely is a card that indicates we're worried and frustrated about our financial abilities. I feel like you've worked so hard to get to a certain spot in life, and it's like one step forward and 10 steps backwards. So let's see what else we need to know about your reading. All right, what do we need to know to find or create the balance? Find or create the balance. All right, so our emotional needs need to be met. I cannot talk today in this reading. This is so weird. So it's almost like you're afraid to ask for what you need. It's like they're showing me energetically like a small child that struggles to communicate. So what do? They scream, they cry, they throw tantrums, right? I feel like this whole acting out, we have the acting out card out here as well, that this person emotionally needs to grow. I feel like whoever this business is with that is corrupt and scams and making poor decisions, emotionally their needs are also not being met, and so they're acting out of character. Emotionally they need to be balanced, and with the Nine of Cups I feel like there's been a lot of emotional disconnect here. This person is unable to communicate how they feel. They're unable to actually make good business decisions because I feel like their heart is kind of navigating for them right now, and it's leading them astray. What else do we need to know? Yeah, so financially speaking, things are going to improve. The Six of Coins tells us that we have blessings that are coming. So unexpected money coming to you, being able to balance things out, having more than enough to be able to be charitable to others, because we're making the decision. There's hesitation, and we see the light, and we figure things out. We're starting to actually make sure that we're operating instead of on autopilot, that we're grounded, that we're in our energy where we can see clearly, think clearly, and make good choices. And that restores the balance. So we no longer have to juggle. You could be technically juggling multiple partners or offers when it comes to love. The Ace of Cups there could be multiple partners in the shadow. And then I feel like we are trying to restore the balance. We're juggling things and we need to decide, but there's this indecision here of what to let go of. Do we release these things that are no good for us, or do we keep going on the same path? All right, when it comes to love, you've got a decision to make. Are you ready to go in a new direction? Are you ready to try things with somebody new, or are you hesitating? Are you afraid? Is fear holding you back? Are there obstacles in your path out of fear? What is it that's holding you back? Is it not the right person? Is the timing not right? Are you unhealed somewhere that you need to think about these things? But you've got to be willing to take a step in a new direction. The Two of Cups is a soulmate. This is somebody that will actually be a stable connection for you. This is somebody who wants a commitment, somebody that wishes to actually be with you. This isn't somebody that I feel like is just going to walk away. This is somebody who's in it for the long haul. It could be someone from your past. It could be a lot of past memories resurfacing. Again, maybe needing to let go of something from the past in order to go towards something new. You could be feeling really nostalgic. I feel like this is also soulmate energy with the Six of Cups, talking about how this person in you, they're showing me the red string of fate. And so the theory with that is that you and the person you're supposed to be with are bound together by this invisible red string. And this red string will eventually tether you two to be together in the 3D physical reality. So I feel like that could be something coming in. Well, we have the Lovers. So I feel like where there's been a lack of communication, I feel like you and this person finally come to some sort of understanding or agreement. And if there's been no communication, I feel like there will be communication coming forward, but that there needs to be clear communication. And I feel like there's hesitation around this. Again, my throat chakra has been affected in this entire reading, and that's an indication that there's things left unsaid, that we're not on the same page, that things are not flowing well. We're unable to communicate. Why? What is the holdup? What's the problem? Are you afraid to speak up for what you need? Are you afraid they don't feel the same? What is it? It's the fear that's holding you back from being able to clearly communicate what it is that you have to say. And I feel like this is an important lesson, that you need to be able to speak up and say what it is that you feel. And if you're not, you have to ask yourself, why? What's the problem? But a decision will have to be made about commitment. The Eight of Coins. The hard work is going to pay off. You have the Devil in reverse with the Eight of Coins. So this is an indication that you're overcoming these challenges. You're overcoming these indecisions. You're overcoming the things that nobody was willing to put in the hard work. I get the sense that things were imbalanced because one person was very invested and the other person maybe was not. Maybe one of you was communicating and the other one was shut down. But there's definitely an indication that things are changing. So I feel like they're finally willing to put in the hard work. Some sort of decision has been reached, or it will be reached, in order to communicate. And then we go towards stability. So the indecision is going to change in order to actually create this stable foundation. It's also mirrored energy. So 1111 could be something that you're seeing. It's a twin flame number, but it's also a number of being on the right path, that you are following through with what you're doing, you are working on healing, and that you are on the right path to where you need to be. You're creating the balance. So I also feel like this is an opportunity for you to go the distance. Two of Cups, Four of Wands tells me marriage is also indicated, and the High Priestess. All right. So I feel very strongly that your inner guidance, your inner wisdom is what's leading you to your forever person. So trust that. I feel like that's going to be huge. Hopefully this shows up on here. She's got the infinity symbol here in her little book. And she's got this keyhole down here. So I feel like in order for you to unlock that inner wisdom, that you really need to tap into source energy, that you need to pay attention to your instincts, and always pay attention to your instincts. But this is an infinite kind of love, and it starts with self-love, and that comes from source. It comes from within. So I feel like you're about to cut off things that aren't working for you. This is like a 0 with a line through it. And it's like enough is enough. You're going towards your path of unity. I feel like energetically they're showing me 2 wedding rings here intertwined. And remember, a circle is the symbol of love for a wedding ring because it's continuous. It's never ending. And that's exactly what I'm picking up with the 2 of Cups. It's a never ending love with you and this person. This is your person that you're supposed to be with. And I feel very strongly that this is an indication that Spirit really does want you to communicate. 8 of Wands in the upright here. So I feel like communication is coming in, but one of you is kind of cut off right now. You're dealing with, you know, a lot on your plate. You need some quiet, some time alone to think, some inner work, some reflection, some shadow work, which is what this reading is. And that inner reflection is going to give you the clues or allow you to make the decision that you need to make. Whoever it is that's lacking the courage and confidence to communicate and speak up they're getting ready to take action. So I feel like communication is inevitable. Why? It's divine intervention. I feel like the indecision or the incapability of being able to communicate right now, that Spirit says, no, you're supposed to be with this person, so we've got to change things. So divine intervention is occurring to restore the balance. This is also a card of a reconciliation. So I feel like if you've been in separation from someone, that's changing. And this person's coming forward quickly. They do have something that they want to communicate with you. I feel like they desire a victory, that they want to win. They want to win you over. They want things to go well. They really do want you to actually choose them. And I feel like that's something that's been a battle. So again, you're at a crossroads needing to decide what the future looks like. Which direction do you wish to proceed in? You have to decide that. And the world is at your fingertips. Travel is indicated. Maybe you guys are at a distance from each other. I also feel like this is an indication that you're closing out old cycles, that you're coming full circle, that if you are doing the work, things are changing for the better. And it's taken in a tremendous amount of strength to overcome the devil, to overcome the challenges, to overcome toxic cycles, toxic relationships, to overcome things that you struggle with, whether it's codependency or addictions, fear. These are all things that we are overcoming. And in return, we might have a lot of options to choose from. But I feel like you need to follow your passions. You need to trust where you're being led. And I feel like it is leading you to this new offer with your divine counterpart. I feel like this person is finally starting to step into their own divinity. They're starting to step into their divine masculine energy. And they are a leader in that aspect. They're somebody who knows what they want. They're somebody who will not settle, that they go after their conquests as a challenge, and that they tend to succeed, right? Because they're looking for a victory. Where did we have the 6 of Wands in here somewhere? But that they're looking for this victory. So I do feel like they might be a business person. They could be somebody who has to make a lot of, they're telling me high-end deals, or they might have a really stressful business life. And I feel like they have built a legacy for themselves, and that they're looking for the right person to settle down and share that with. This person's going to make a calculated risk and come towards you. This person has a lot that they need to say, and I feel like they're so worried that you're going to reject the offer, that you're not going to be able to communicate with them. And I feel like you've had so many communication breakdowns in the past that this person is hesitating, but they're coming to the decision that they have to come forward, because if they don't, they're never going to be able to have what they're looking for. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Serpents. You guys are definitely meant to be together, but I feel like one of you is kind of in this negative mindset. It could be the feminine energy or the masculine, however it resonates. But I feel like this person has made bad choices when it comes to either business or love before, and that there is this major imbalance. And so we need to rectify this situation. So this Queen of Pentacles could be dealing with a lot of jealous energy, feeling kind of possessive over things, really unorganized, or dealing with a lot of manipulation. And I feel like she's been manipulated when it comes to love before, and so that's the hesitation. But Judgment's out here, and so Judgment is an indication that divine intervention is definitely occurring. We also had Temperance in your reading. So this tells us that there is a decision that needs to be made, and I feel like the divine is stepping in. I get the strong sense that this could be a twin flame counterpart that you're in separation from, and so in order to restore or rectify things and make things in balance again, Judgment is being called. We're also entering Saturn in retrograde, which is all about karma. And so these things are going to play out in the way that they're supposed to. Divine intervention is restoring the balance where things have been anything but balanced. And you have a lot of imbalance in this reading. This is also a card that indicates that you need some self-awareness, and that you may have gone through a lot of failures or you're repeating mistakes. And so we've got to see the bigger picture and stop repeating those mistakes. You may also be dealing with a string of bad luck. Maybe you're dealing with financial difficulties. Your first card was the King of Coins in the shadow, talking about scams and bad business decisions. So the wheel can spin in your favor at any given time. But I feel like currently you might feel like you're dealing with a string of bad luck. Maybe your manifestations haven't come in. Maybe it's poor planning. Maybe it's feeling kind of lazy and not going towards your goals. But again, the world tells us that things can change for the better. And I feel like we have to see that bigger picture before that actually happens. So do you want to go towards new love and somebody who's really in it for the long haul, even though you may have been through some major endings and a lot of heartbreak? Because I feel like you need to see the truth for what it is, and I feel like the truth is actually coming for you. The question is, are you willing to see past any sort of illusions in order to see the truth? You may have cut this person off. I feel like this situation is something that you've gone kind of on this roller coaster, round and round we go, over and over again. And I feel like your cutoff game is pretty damn strong. So are you willing to lower your sword while you are skeptical and to hear this person out? Because I feel like communication's coming in, but I feel like you're overthinking this situation. So the Tower is coming to rectify the situation. You've got some decisions to make. Operate out of love instead of fear. See things for reality instead of illusion, and be willing to take a step in a new direction. Have a wonderful week.